To have God's wealth, you must learn to rest in his provision. This really goes against our American culture. I mean, we celebrate people who work long hours. We honor those who hustle. We think it's great to be busy. But none of this aligns with the way of Jesus. When all we do is worry about the next house, the next car, the next raise, or even where the next meal is going to come from, do we ever hear the voice of God in all the frenzy? No. That's why to live in God's promise of wealth, you have to learn how to rest. And the best way to start is by implementing one day of complete rest every week. It's what the Bible calls the Sabbath. My wife and I have been practicing Sabbath for 2 years now. We don't look at our phones the entire day. We don't have a schedule or an agenda. We just wake up, relax, and go with the flow. Our Sabbath is on Monday, and at first, the people I work with would call me on Sabbath, and I didn't know. I wasn't looking at my phone. So I called them back the next day and explained the delay. And the first time I explain it, people say, "Really? Like, you're not going to look at your phone for an entire day, every week?" And I just reply, "Really? You should try it sometime." It took some time and some explaining, but now most everyone respects the fact that I'm going to be honoring Sabbath every Monday, whether they like it or not. And you know how many times this has ruined a work project? The fact that I didn't respond until the next day? It never has. Turns out what feels like an emergency rarely is. So here we are in a culture that doesn't understand Sabbath, and it's really easy to see the results of it. We're exhausted, overworked, and spiritually malnourished. We're slaves to the unsustainable rhythms of our success-obsessed culture. God knew we would struggle with this, so he gave us a gift, the Sabbath. Just don't turn this into religious nonsense like the Pharisees did. I mean, they would fuss at Jesus for healing on the Sabbath. So if you're using Sabbath as an excuse not to do good, you got the wrong idea. I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, I can't serve at church today because it's my Sabbath." Well, I think you got the wrong idea. Sabbath is a day to say no to work, no to achievement. Forget about the pile of tasks and emails and texts you're going to face tomorrow and spend one day every week unplugged and focused on God and family, including your church family. When Jesus fed the 5,000, he had the people rest on the grass so that he could demonstrate his divine provision. The food they had available wasn't even close to enough, but that didn't bother Jesus. He took the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish and gave thanks to God. He then gave the food to the disciples, and they distributed it to the crowd. And everyone ate as much as they wanted, and there were even leftovers, more than enough. So many of us are living in our own provision. We're working hard, and we're struggling because what we do is never enough. You get a raise, but it never seems to make a difference because your expenses get raised too. What if we rested in God's provision? You should try it by implementing one day of complete rest every single week. And after you get over the shock of being without your phone for an entire day, you'll thank me later. There's more you need to know when it comes to living in God's promise of wealth. So I invite you to enroll in my free video series called God Privilege. Get access today at cadeyoung.com. Also, go ahead and hit the like button because that'll help this video get out to everybody who needs it. Did you do it? Hit the like button and go get your free video series at cadeyoung.com. And before you go, I want to make sure that we're clear on what Jesus did for you. Jesus gave his life not just to forgive you, but to free you from sin. He didn't just pay the penalty of your sin. He took your sin away. You're forgiven. You're free. That's who you are when you believe in Jesus Christ. So go ahead and say this with me. Jesus Christ, I believe in you. Thank you for giving your life to save mine. I'm forgiven, I'm free, and I dedicate my life to following you. Now let's follow Jesus together. I have more videos coming your way. Be the first to know by subscribing to my email list at cadeyoung.com. And we can also stay connected on YouTube, Instagram, Gab, and Telegram to search for Pastor Cade. You'll find me there. See you soon.